A traffic accident had occurred on a national highway. Here's your traffic island, the inner, middle, outer lane, the shoulder, and railings. Typically speaking, trucks and buses should travel in the outer lanes, and if drivers are sleepy or problems occur with the automobile, they should park on the shoulder of the road. On one day, at 1 a.m. in the morning, a large truck on the highway suddenly saw a white stand parked laterally across the shoulder and outer lane. The truck impacted the boot of the white car with a bang. Inside were two men, a driver taking his boss on a business trip. There were still responses from the driver, but the boss was unresponsive to emergency procedures and simply passed away. So whose fault was this? You must be wondering why the white stand was parked laterally across the outer lane and the shoulder. Well, who could answer this? Of course, the driver of the stand. Strangely enough, the driver seemed fine, but his account of what happened was inconsistent, and the only thing he could be sure of was the car was impacted 3 times in total. Since the crime scene investigators were not able to rely on the witness statements, they revisited the scene. They observed 2 possible theories. First, the white stand was previously hit by another car, diverted towards the left, hit a railing, and slid towards the shoulder before it was hit by the truck. The second theory was that the white stand lost control by itself due to unknown causes. The following were trace evidence claimed by the investigators. Let's think about which theory the evidence points towards. 1. There were no brake marks from the stand on the road the accident occurred. 2. There were 4 colors of paint on the impact points of the white stand: red, blue, green, and orange. Huh? Where did this paint come from? Indeed, the crime scene investigators found the same red, blue, and green paint on the large truck. This is called the Locard Exchange Principle, which states that with contact between 2 objects, there will be an exchange which leaves a trail on each other. However, the large truck had no orange paint, so where did it come from? The orange came right from the scene itself. Has anyone noticed? The investigators found a place on the gray railings where the outer gray paint had been erased, revealing the orange paint underneath. This means the white stand crashed into the railings without breaking. Furthermore, the stand had mounted the railings because there was an obvious upward scratch mark on the railings. In addition, the rims of the wheels are shattered. We know they are made of metal and are hard. So when they broke after the vehicle mounted the railings and fell to the ground, the weight and speed of the stand means marks on the ground would have been inevitable, and the marks on the railings and the shattered wheel rims explain why there were marks on the road in the B section. Nevertheless, we must point out that in the A section of the road, which is prior to the stand impacting the railings, there were no scratch marks. Based on these 5 trace evidence, which theory is correct? Not at first. If the white stand had been first hit by another car, by Locard's exchange principle, it would bear the marks of that car. But investigators found no such evidence. In other words, the white stand for some reason lost control, hitting the railings by itself, mounted up to 110 cm high before falling down. The wheel rims then scratched the road and the car turned sideways across the outer lane and finally was crashed by the truck. Why did the stand lose control? There are 3 possibilities. The first is drink driving, the second, driver's fatigue, and the third, a flat tire. The first possibility was easily ruled out by the police administering an alcohol test. It wasn't a flat tire either because of the lack of marks on the road before hitting the railing. This leaves fatigue as the most likely cause. The 5 aforementioned evidence are all related to Locard's exchange principle. Once there's a contact between two objects, some form of exchange must occur, leaving evidence of each other. That's to say, the perpetrator of a crime will bring something into a crime scene and leave with something from it. In modern forensic science, this concept is called trace evidence. The idea sounds simple, but it's crucial in forensics. After all, witnesses can lie or be confabulated, but physical evidence cannot be wrong or perjured. Lastly, the name Locard is in tribute of the man formulated this principle, Edmond Locard from France. He specialized in medicine and law and became a French forensic scientist. Thanks to his attention to details of crime scenes, he was able to establish what is now recognized as the first crime investigation laboratory in Lyon, France, in 1910. Many of his methods are still used today, and he became known as a pioneer in forensic science as well as the Sherlock Holmes of France.